Dear friends, welcome to another episode in the fantastic world of the military. In this video, we will talk about an order issued by Chinese leader Xi Jinping, commanding the Chinese armed forces to prepare for war at sea. Is this the final indication of a Chinese attempt to invade and annex Taiwan, or a full-force attack against the Philippines? Last Thursday, March 7th, Chinese leader Xi Jinping stated during a meeting in the Chinese parliament that he had ordered the Chinese armed forces to start broad coordination in preparation for conflicts at sea, aiming to protect Chinese maritime interests. This was the third time in less than 2 years that Xi Jinping referred to the imminence of a conflict at sea, coinciding with the strengthening of the largest and most comprehensive military exercises China has carried out in recent decades. Exercises that, according to Xi Jinping, unfold considering real scenarios of combat at sea and in the air. But to which conflicts at sea is Xi Jinping referring? China is one of the countries with the highest number of border disputes, many of them at sea, with the main focus being the South China Sea. Just in that sea, China maintains serious border disagreements with 4 nations: Brunei, Malaysia, Vietnam, and the Philippines. Not to forget the case of Taiwan, an island classified by Xi Jinping as a mere rebel province, ensuring that it will be annexed even if it requires the use of military force. Along with Taiwan, the border disputes with the Philippines and the South China Sea are the most serious and seem to grow day by day, allowing a conflict to be foreseen. The last serious episode occurred on March 5th, when Chinese Coast Guard ships attacked a Filipino supply convoy, injuring 4 Filipino sailors. The Filipino convoy, consisting of 4 transport ships, had the mission of resupplying Filipino military personnel on Second Thomas Shoal, a small reef only 200 kilometers off the Filipino coast, and, therefore, within the limit that delimits the Philippine Exclusive Economic Zone. However, for China, the entire extent of that sea, including the exclusive economic zones of all bordering countries, belongs only to the Chinese and no one else. The Philippines, to guarantee its internationally recognized right over its exclusive economic zone, was forced to run aground on Second Thomas Shoal an old World War II ship, the Sierra Madre, maintaining inside it a small contingent of Marines, with the Chinese insisting that the Filipinos are invading their territorial waters. The Chinese attack on March 5th was one of the most serious in recent years, increasing the pressure on the government of President Ferdinand Marcos Jr. to activate the military alliance with the United States. In 1951, a few years after its independence, the Philippines, a former Spanish and American colony, signed a full military alliance with the United States, through which both commit to assist each other in case of military emergency. That is, if China attacks the Philippines with full force, the United States is obligated to assist. Many believe that the Chinese have not done so until now precisely because they fear the direct involvement of the United States Navy, which is why China limits itself to besieging Filipino ships and, at most, attacking them with water jets. However, many believe that the Chinese are gradually stretching the rope to test the limits of the United States and the Philippines. Indeed, when analyzing the situation over the last few years, we notice that China has been increasing the intensity of its actions in a staggered manner, with the attack on March 5th, which resulted in 4 injured Filipino sailors, being the most serious of the recent years. Continuing at this pace, many analysts believe that China will soon adopt more lethal measures, including the use of firearms. If this happens, and if Filipino ships start being sunk and Filipino sailors start being killed by China, the Filipino president will have no choice but to activate the military alliance, which will result in the direct involvement of the United States Navy, inevitably leading to the start of a maritime conflict in the South China Sea involving the 2 largest war navies in the world. The order given by Xi Jinping may be related to the situation with the Philippines and the United States, but it may also be related to Taiwan. Since the end of 2023, the Chinese have been conducting military exercises practically daily, involving conflict scenarios with Taiwan. Exercises that involve simulations of Marines embarking and disembarking from amphibious assault ships, paratrooper drops through contested airspace, and aircraft approaches to the island's coast to monitor its defense responses. All these Chinese military movements and exercises, the harassment and attacks carried out by China against Filipino ships within the Philippine Exclusive Economic Zone, the increasingly greater pressure on the island of Taiwan, and the most recent order from Xi Jinping for the armed forces to coordinate aiming for a major conflict at sea seem to indicate that soon a new war may start in the Pacific. And if you are not yet subscribed to the channel, subscribe and activate the notification bell to not miss any news, criticisms, ideas, or suggestions. You can leave them in the comments.